indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. Roll call, please.
Weeks.
Here.
Thomas. Here. Kimco.
Here.
Carter. Larkin.
Here.
Jumel. Raver.
Present.
McDaniel.
Present.
First item on the agenda is approval of the July 12, 2016 meeting.
I have read the minutes and nothing struck me as untoward.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Clarkin. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Weeks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Under petitions and communications, anyone in the audience like?
We have the special minutes from July 28th. Do we want to approve those also?
Oh, good idea. It was in the basket. Okay. I got out of order here. There they are. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the special minutes of July 28th? Yeah. Motion by Councilman Raver. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Clarkin, second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Now, petitions and communications. Anyone in the audience like to address the council?
Sorry.
Mr. Wade?
Yes, I just want to give you a little update, to give the council an update on where we're at on the Parks and Recreation sales tax. The park board met, and we would like to move the ballot date back to April. We thought that November was pushing a little too close, and you all probably agree that was a little tight. So we want to move it back to April, give us more time to prepare, and give you all more time to make a decision. Secondly, we also discussed making a quarter of the sales tax sunset tax after 10 years, and a quarter of the sales tax being permanent for the total of a 1.5% sales tax. We decided this because we thought that if we took that to the community, that would be a better selling point, and we would give us an opportunity to show them what we can do before we say this tax is completely permanent. One big thing that we need to know as a park board, and when I'm going to these organizations, and a common question that comes up is how much of the sales tax will go towards Parks and Recreation, and how much of it will go to stormwater management. And that is your all's decision. It's just difficult for us to move forward with plans before we have that information. So I guess I ask that be decided quickly, if possible.
What's the recommendation?
I talked to Hope, and that was one of Hope's questions. I haven't spoken with HSA at the meeting tomorrow that I'm going to attend. I've reached out to Optimists. They haven't got back to me. It was brought up to the chamber, and I'm waiting to hear back from Don Bowers on what they thought. They met Thursday. So as far as Oregon local supports, they need more information, which is understandable.
Have you looked into any legal parts of this? I know you're using taxes for, like the Hope Center and Sports Complex. Can you do that?
Okay, so the money would be allocated by the park board, and I haven't spoken to an attorney, and I haven't spoken to any of his legal counsel about that specifically, no. But I do know that programs like that exist currently with other Parks and Recreation departments throughout the state, where they have partnerships with different organizations where the city supplements those organizations with the tax, as long as there's an agreement, written agreement, prior to the funds being allocated.
So there's still a lot of work to go.
Oh yes, and that's one of the reasons why it was pushed back to April. Yeah. And then you all should have a copy of the very tentative master plan. Just some thoughts of what we're kind of thinking if the sales tax passes, just where we would maybe spend those monies, just to kind of give us a general outline. And once we have a more permanent number on the percentage of the money that we would receive, we would move forward and have a more solid master plan to follow. Any questions for me? Yes.
On the course that sunset, how many years?
The sunset was 10 years, is what we decided.
I would like to request that the council be invited to a park board meeting to discuss this plan with you.
Okay.
And kind of iron out, question and answer, iron out any details that may be of a concern to the council.
Okay, well, I invite the council to come to our next park board meetings the first Monday of every month. So,
First Monday.
for the next one being September.
Whereabouts do you have those meetings?
Right here.
Right here.
That's a holiday.
First
Monday in September is a holiday.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then I will get you a new date. We haven't decided.
It's the first Monday in August.
We've already had-
Okay, yeah, so it would be this next Monday, most likely is what we'll do.
We'll save the second Monday, but I will send out something to the council once we decide a date. We do not have a calendar that has all of our dates set because our members have things going on and so on, so we try to be flexible. So as soon as we have a permanent date, I'll make sure that you will know,
But you said the first Monday of every month.
with the exception of holidays.
We appreciate it, thank you. Any other questions? While Mr. Wilkins? Okay. Community organization updates, anyone from, oh, anybody else? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, my name's Debbie Hopkins, and I live at Fifth Market. I came up here in the fall to complain about my neighbors that supposedly, I've been told the house is red flagged, and I was told the house was condemned the day after I came up here to the meeting. They said that they was gonna board it up. Well, their son was living there most of the winter, because when I would leave to go to work, he would come out for a ride to go to work. No one's supposed to be living there. They have no water, they have no sewer, they have no lights, they have no gas. Their grass is tall, they have put rocks on the side, so they wouldn't have to cut the grass. Now the weeds are probably this tall. I took pictures if you'd like to see them. They have a truck with trash bags in the back that with expired plates. They have an Explorer in the back with expired plates. They open up the door and you can smell mold. I'm sure their basement's full of water. There's mosquitoes and flies. We can't even sit outside because the mosquitoes and flies are so bad. I was gonna bring the fly catcher we have. We change it every 2 weeks, and it's disgusting.
And who did you speak with when you came?
The council,
Okay.
and they said that they would get with Eric, and I've talked to Eric, nothing is ever done. Now, they painted it, half of it, the Jerusalem project was helping them paint it.
Oh,
They wouldn't help, so they was there one day, and they told them if they wasn't helping them, they wasn't gonna do it. So, I don't know what you can do, but something's gotta be done. It's getting to be a health hazard. Because I know our basement would flood, we have a sub pump. And I'm sure if ours does, I mean, they don't have windows in some of the parts of the basement where they should have windows. So I'm sure it floods, and it's probably full of water, and that's where all the mosquitoes are coming from. But, I don't know what to do. I mean, my elderly mother lives with me. We put a deck, because she can't walk very well, so she could sit outside. She hasn't been able to sit out there once, because she gets bitten up by mosquitoes and flies, and we spray, and I don't know what to do.
few questions. Have the police department aware that no one was supposed to be there?
What's the address there?
104 West Fifth Street. Essex.
I'd have to check more with Eric, but I know that they were allowed to be there during certain time frames outside the perimeter that the thing says, the time says on the sheet, because they were working on it. It was like during the hotter parts of the day, they were not allowed anyone to work there. They were going to work in the evening when it was cooler. So that Eric said as long as they're there working, that's allowed. If somebody was living there, we weren't aware of that.
They were ticketed for living there. They
Okay.
were fined.
Okay, and so, I mean, if that's the case, that's what the code enforcement, that's with Eric. So,
But they're not working on it, nothing's been done, so if they're there later, I don't know what they're doing. They can't use electricity. At first, when they didn't have any electricity, we let them use ours so they could do stuff.
right.
But they don't do anything. They
It's
just,
a sticky situation when we're actually going to try to do something like that in the house. I mean, we can't, as far as I'm aware, you can't just, if it's an outable, yes, you can kick them out, but they have the right to repair and do maintenance. So if you have a feeling that they're living there, staying there, call the police.
I do. But it doesn't do any good. They give them a ticket, they pay the ticket, and that's it. And they tell them, no, he's not living there, that he's just going there for a ride for his work. He's not. He goes there at night. I don't know, I haven't seen him recently, but he would go there around 9:30. And then he would be out there about the same time I left to go to work. He was not just going up there for a ride. He'd be walking in the pouring rain when they're living at the music store. I mean, what sense does that make? To walk there for a ride? And if that house ever catches on fire, Sharon and I aren't going to have a house. They keep saying they're going to board it up, and nothing's done. The grass is tall now. Now it's worse than ever. On the side, it's tall. Parts of it's taller than the fence. And now someone gave them a car, so now they got another junk car sitting in the driveway. Like every time they get another car, that one just sits until they make them get rid of it. And now it's full of trash. And Eric, I don't know. I think he tells me what I want to hear, and he tells them what they want to hear.
We will look into it tomorrow, I can assure you, this time.
Okay.
We did last time, but obviously we haven't resolved the issue.
Okay. I mean, I waited all summer.
Right.
You live in the brick house on the corner, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, anyone else? Yes, sir.
I just want to thank everybody who helped and supported the fishing derby that we had. We had approximately 50 kids show up this year, so everybody had a great time, and we had lots of people that hadn't been there before that asked us if we would do it again next year, so we'll be preparing for next year again. So I just want to say thanks for all the support.
I have a note here to thank you and your volunteers for hosting the fishing derby. It was a great day, and as you said, well attended. Everybody there got a prize and had a good time. So thank you and your whole crew. There were many volunteers.
Our pleasure.
Okay, community organizations. Anyone representing community organizations? If not, we'll move ahead to old business. New business. Liquor consumptions. Shelley Morrison Page, a birthday party on September 10th, 2016. The time of the event, 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. Do I have a motion to approve the birthday party? Motion by Councilman Weeks. Second. Councilman Clarkin, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have appointment of merit board member. Recruited Gloria Clarkin, and Gloria's here in the back row. Wave your hand, there you go, thank you. She would like to serve on the merit board, and we do have a couple of vacancies now, so it is important, I think, to keep a good number so that we can conduct business when needed. Do I have a motion to approve Gloria Clarkin to the merit board? Motion by Councilman Weeks. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Thomas. Is any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
If she's a good character, it's here.
She comes highly recommended. Next is approval of city clerk to sign letter of approval for wine tasting at Ghost Brothers. We just need a motion. We had this discussion last month that all the council has to do is write a letter endorsing, and they may have a wine tasting event at their location out on Highway 58. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion to approve signing the letter to host the event?
I'd make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Rayburn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Thomas. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, mayor comments. I've already commented, I want to do that timely, that the fishing derby 3 years in a row. The date worked out well this year because of weather, and I think that helped with the participation. Approval of appropriations. Is there a motion to approve the appropriations?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Rayburn. Is there a second? Councilman Weeks. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Under ordinances and resolutions, bill number 080117, an ordinance reenacting subchapter C of chapter 25 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Holton regarding conflict of interest and financial interest. This is a every 2-year council act. We need first and second reading. For a motion to approve first reading of 080117. Councilman Nipko makes the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Rayburn, seconded. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Second reading of Bill 080117, an ordinance reenacting subchapter C of chapter 25 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Holton, Missouri regarding conflict of interest and financial interest. I have a motion to approve second reading.
So moved.
Councilman Nipko. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Thomas. Roll call, please.
Weeks.
Yes.
Thomas. Yes. Nipko.
Yep.
Clarkin.
Yes.
Seymour.
Yes.
Rayburn.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item B, bill number 080217, an ordinance of the City of Holton, Missouri, amending Chapter 54, business licenses relating to provisions for issuing business licenses to businesses, trades, and entities doing business within the city limits. This will be first reading. Is there any discussion on Bill 080217?
I got one. On the fine for not having a license is $10. I thought we agreed to raise that to 50.
What section is?
Second page, number 2.
Second page number 2.
The fine is less than the license in itself.
Number 2 there, any person?
Fine.
No, but I don't remember talking about
Okay.
Well, just a $10 fine and a $50 license.
Not much motivation to get a business license. Any other concern about that paragraph number 2 on the second page? Would there be an amendment or a suggestion from the committee to change the $10 fine to a higher amount? Since a business license is $30.
I would recommend amending that to 30 so that we would get the license. That would, you know, it would do the same money, you know, paying 30, might get a license. Which is what we're trying to do, we're trying to get the people a license.
Right.
I would move that big increase to 30, which is our standard.
Councilman Weeks, does that sound doable?
More than 10, but I'd rather stick with 50 because I mean, you've got people that are actually trying to do it the right way. When they do it at 30, I mean, I think we need to make it a little stiffer if you decide not to get a license and get caught. There's more of a penalty charge if we don't do it the right way.
We would like to encourage people to buy the license without a hassle, writing a ticket, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I just think it would be a little bit more business friendly if we just went with 30.
Is that a motion, Jim?
Yeah, the motion.
Not a second motion.
Maybe 30. Then the fine is $30 for the license.
So the amended ordinance is going to read that shall be guilty of general ordinance violation punishable by $30.
Yeah, 30.
Which is the cost of a business
Which
license.
is the cost of a business license.
So the burden is on the city to give a ticket.
But if they don't comply, then they can get another ticket.
We get a ticket, we get $60 in.
But you also got to count that going through the system, the data ticket, you got to pay part of the fine, so we'll still be probably $50.
I think $30 will encourage you to buy a license personally.
I would hope so in theory, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to weigh this out. Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second to change that to $30, paragraph 2. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried, shall be amended. Any other concerns within the ordinance?
First reading.
This is the committee's recommendation, but I do want to be on record that I do think that by not charging the vendors that come to our town for short periods of time is a missed opportunity for the city to capture some revenue that the taxpayers put out for police protection, trash pickup, and so forth by our city personnel. And I think we are missing an opportunity here, which would not be a hardship on the sponsoring organizations because it would come from the vendors, not the organization. As we've stated before, the city puts out over 2,000 in overtime for police, and we do provide trash pickup and disposal for the fair. And the rodeo.
I'd like to counter that with the following argument, that by encouraging vendors to come here without having to pay a fee to set up business, that we might get more vendors and in reality draw more sales tax and more customers because we have more vendors, and in that regard, possibly even make more money that way by becoming a business vendor-friendly city and just trying to get more tax revenue and spread it across the entire city from all of our businesses in the town. So that's my comment.
Yeah. Well, my observation the last several years is we have good sufficient number of vendors. They come to town, the for-profit vendors make their money, they take it, and they leave town. The city may or may not get sales tax off of the vendor depending on whether they have a sales tax number or not and pay to the state. It's very difficult for the city to track the sales tax that is paid to the state that comes back to the city. I don't know what the total number of dollars spent in the city, for example, during the street fair would be, but we get 1%, a little over 1%.
Tax revenue increase around the fair. I mean, I pulled the last 3 years, and it averages cost us around $2,875 for overtime. That's just overtime for the police and street department and codes. The actual tax revenue that we get off the weekend of the fair is roughly under $1,000. So when you're saying increase in tax revenue, we really don't make any money.
So as long as the council, as representative of the city, is willing to subsidize the fair with police overtime and trash pickup, we'll have that voters. But an opportunity exists for the city to recoup, not make money, but to recoup taxpayer dollars. Any other discussion? Okay, if not, we have amended ordinance that will have second reading next month. All in favor of ordinance number 08-0217, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have 5 yes, 2 opposed. Item C on the agenda, bill number 08-0317, an ordinance amending section 34.010 of chapter 34 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Holden relating to name change from Park Board to Board of Parks and Recreation. Any discussion? This will be first reading on ordinance 08-0317.
Business license.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? 1 opposed.
Who is that?
Did we have a first and second?
We're going to have just first and second.
Motion, first and second. I missed
Oh.
this motion.
Did we get a motion? Was I ahead of myself?
Yeah.
Back up. Sorry about that. Okay, we need a motion to approve bill number 08-0317. Thank you.
So moved.
Okay, Councilman Mitko. Second? Is there a second? Second. Councilman Rayburn? I guess we better vote again. Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Aye. One opposed. Okay, reports of committees and all other business. I need to jump in here. We need to set a tax rate hearing for the latter part of August. This is necessary because state auditor, county clerk, everybody needs to coordinate. We just got our information today, approved by the state auditor, so I would propose that we set August 29th as a short special meeting to approve our tax rate for the next fiscal year. Does that date look okay for everyone?
August when?
29th on Monday,
Monday, okay. Time?
7 o'clock. If that looks okay, we need a motion to approve that date.
Oh, so moved.
Councilman Nipfield makes the motion. Is there a second? Councilman Rager seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, now on the reports of committees and all the business. Start with Councilman McDaniels.
I do not have any reports on any committees.
Okay, you. Councilman Rager.
I don't have anything.
Okay, Councilman Carter.
I want to report that last month there were 17 fires or fire department calls to be answered and 2 structure fires.
Our department's been busy then.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Weeks.
Board of Public Works, they, after quite a few months going through, they approved to pay for part of the repair of Lexington Street. It was passed in last year. It was actually a pretty quick meeting. Missed the first 5 minutes, and 5 more minutes it was over. So. Police department, they're going for a couple grants, a block grant for updated computers and printers for the car. The state's going in, we're trying to mandate do away with hand tickets, and if you're ever going to stop a highway patrol, they will print your ticket out in the car. It's all electronically filed, and in the modern day, they want everything electronic, so they're trying to go away from the old system. So they're applying for it. If we get it, we do. If we don't, we'll worry about what happens. And they're applying for an NRA grant for new tasers, and that's actually about $6,800 total for 6 of them. So we just can't come out of it with a budget, so we're hoping we'll get them off the grant. And they ordered 1 new vest this year, which is roughly $750. They're expensive. We have 7 full-time officers. So it's expensive fast. That's all I have.
Very good. Councilmember Thomas. Councilmember Nepko.
Nothing, sir.
Okay, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
Councilman Clarkin, so second. Councilman Weeks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We will now go to the announced and advertised special meeting. Roll call, please.
Parkin?
Here.
Small? Raver? Daniel?
Here.
Weeks? Thomas? Yes. Rico? Carl?
Item 2 on the agenda is accept resignation of Ward 2 Council Member Neil Carter. Neil turned in his resignation August 8th, and we need to accept that resignation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Councilman Clarkin, Councilman Nipko made the motion, Councilman Clarkin seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item 3, approval of Ward 2 council member. I would nominate Karen Christensen, a longtime resident of that ward. She has served with distinction on the merit board. She has the city's best interest in mind. Any discussion?
I agree with everything you said. She and I have been good friends and have worked on some really involved projects through the years. And I consider her a personal friend, but I wonder should we have considered anybody that ran in the last election? Should there have been any consideration for somebody who put out the money and everything to run? We have a candidate or a person that did run, only missed by a couple of votes in that ward.
Any other comments?
I would make a motion that I would nominate Clarence Silvers for councilman of Ward 2.
That's out of order. The agenda gives a name, and that is, according to state statute, that is a procedure that should be followed when filling a council vacancy.
Well, I have the state statute right here, and highlighted in yellow it says, "The vacant office shall be selected by appointment with the advice and consent of the majority of the remaining council." Now, I wasn't contacted about any input about that, but I think that means he did run for that ward, and he did only lose by 2 votes, that we ought to consider it.
Okay, you got the notice of a special meeting with the name on the agenda yesterday, 24 hours prior to the meeting. I rest my case.
Well, you don't have to rest your case. I'm just going by the state statute. And it says with consent of the majority of the council.
Would you care to address that, Councilor?
The statute says that the vacancies shall be selected by appointment by the mayor with the advice and consent of the majority of the remaining members of the council.
So am I out of order to make a motion to recommend someone else?
Yes. The process is that the mayor nominates and the council votes, and basically it's an up or down vote, and it takes a majority. And if it's a down vote, then it's up to the mayor to nominate somebody else. And the analogy is the same thing as the appointment of a Supreme Court justice to the United States Supreme Court. The president appoints and the Senate advises and consents. They have to approve it by majority vote. And if they don't, then they don't get to nominate someone they want. The president nominates somebody else. And it's exactly the same language in this statute as the Constitution carries for advice and consent of Supreme Court justices and other appointments by the executive branch.
Glad you were here tonight to explain that.
Any other comments, discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve a replacement for Ward 2. The nomination is Karen Christensen. Do I hear a motion?
I'd move it. I'd make that motion.
Councilman Rayburn,
I'll second that one.
Councilman Weeks, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do I hear a motion for adjournment? Motion by Councilman Weeks, second by Councilman Larkin. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.
You have a